So in structured questioning, it was the same questions to every single person, right? So unstructured questioning is the exact opposite. The questions are totally kind of left up to the interviewer themselves. Especially experienced interviewers might have certain questions they ask everyone, or they want to really ask questions that are unique to each individual candidate based on the resume, CV, previous interviews, whatever it might be. And they have the ability to choose and create the questions that they want. Many times you see with interviews where there's a blend of structured questions and unstructured questions. It's kind of how I would do it. I always had the same questions I asked every single question of every single candidate, 3 to 4 or 5 that were the same for everybody. But then I would go from there and ask more deeper or probing questions or something more specific to that specific job, depending on the person or the job we're interviewing for. But it was always nice to have a few structured questions to support my unstructured questions that I could really choose on my own. And it's usually not necessarily from a script. Sometimes it's scripted out in advance, but it doesn't have to be with these unstructured questions. Usually these are like questions that are the follow-up questions to maybe a structured question. What is your greatest strength or weakness? And you say, my greatest strength is this. Well, then they can be unstructured, that whole discussion afterward about your strength and or that weakness in that particular example. So why do companies use unstructured questions? Why don't they just have it all be structured? And the idea is the managers or the people hiring want to have that flexibility. They want to be able to probe deeper, and it's important to probe deeper. And a lot of times this is used later in the process. So early in the process, you see a lot of the same or structured questions. Later in the process, you'll see more unstructured questions. And it's a way for an interviewer to really get to know a candidate, right? If you ask the same 15, 20 questions of every person, that's great. You'll get that base. But with unstructured questions, you kind of go off script and you can really learn more about that candidate. Maybe from a previous interview, there's some concerns or something that needs to be delved into a little bit deeper. Well, with an unstructured question, you can really probe into that and really investigate that further and really investigate that concern that you or the organization might have. It's good to overcome these objections to the job. It's good to overcome the interviewers who have different styles or want this freedom. That's where unstructured questions really come in. And it's the same thing with any interview question. It's your opportunity to shine, to share your experience, to share your stories. Use things like the star and card method, but understand that you might be coming a little bit of questions in an unstructured format, kind of out of left field or unexpectedly, because they might not necessarily go in a easy flow. They might just kind of come out of nowhere. So be understanding of that and just be ready to answer any question.